Hi guys, this is MJ. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how do you get closer to ISTPs. So I've done and finished all intuitives, all 8 of them, and as promised, I'm going to work through all the sensor types. So again, as a reminder, there's no clear-cut way to get close with someone. These are just tips on how you can have a way to connect with certain types. There's no, it's better to do these things organically, so please take all of the things that I say with a grain of salt. Okay, how do you get closer with an ISTP? The first one is find a common ground, whether it be crypto, art, anime, K-drama, K-pop, video games. Find a reason and find something to talk about. Get to know them by asking them what kind of things are they interested in. Because ISTPs very often talk with purpose. So there has to be a reason why you're talking about something. Otherwise, they don't do well with small talk. So find something that you guys can talk about. Get to know them by asking them what kind of things are they interested recently, and if you happen to share the same hobbies or interests with the ISTP, then that's one good way to bond over these things. So the second one is invite them to places even if they say no. So this comes with respecting their personal space. At the end of the day, ISTPs are introverts. So they still want to be a part of something, but it doesn't mean that they want to go out all the time. So if you wanna skate with them, if you wanna go to the gym with them, if you wanna have dinner with them along with other friends, that's one thing that you can tell them ahead of time if they're open to like joining them. Join if you're open to having them join you guys over dinner or something, going to an event, then if you are sincere, if you are not gonna force them into any of these other activities, then they will be open to it, and just hope to God that they'll say yes. Very often, ISTPs are quite picky with the kind of people they surround themselves with. They easily get overwhelmed as well by being surrounded by people that they don't necessarily connect with. So they're gonna be very discerning with the kind of people that they'll get themselves involved with, because they enjoy being alone, of course. So if you're the kind of crowd or people that they see getting along with long term, and they seem to be sincere and that seem to be sharing the same interests and hobbies as they do, then you get to let them decide whether or not they'll go with you. Third is don't force them to open up. Again, this is the same rule that applies to other TI DOMs, inferior FE, or even T DOM and OX. Any thinker basically have a hard time talking about emotions. They don't even like to talk about emotions. So that's one thing that you have to be patient about. Having FI demon make it already difficult for them to process what they're feeling. So for to force them to talk about hard things, especially when you're impatient, especially when I solve the problem now, especially when you just wanna let's get to the problem right now, let's fix it and talk about what you feel and what I feel. I know that for a lot of people that's something that's important. But to a lot of inferior FE slash demon FI people, they have a harder time being sitting down and really processing what they feel. Very often takes a long time for them to even recognize what hurt them or what pissed them off. Like getting to the bottom of it and getting to the root of it. So you have to be patient, but you have to let them know that you're there and that at some point you guys have to talk about it for XYZ reasons. You have to be very rational in your approach when it comes to talk about emotions and why you should be talking about these things in the first place, because it has to make sense to them So you have to frame it in such a way that it solves a problem and it benefits the friendship or the relationship. Lastly, be direct. ISTPs don't like passive aggression. They get easily put off by ambiguity and abstract. Like, oh, don't make them read your mind. Don't make them guess your feelings. It's not gonna work. They're gonna find it petty. And it's easier for the both of you if you just talk about what you feel about something. They're not gonna take offense in it. Of course, feelings very often to a lot of thinkers are a little icky. But eventually, especially when they care about you, they'll recognize why it's important to talk about these things. And actually, just shout out to one of the people who requested this video or wanted to watch this video actually is one of an ENTJs that I one of my new ENTJ friends that I met recently, and she's dating an ISTP actually. And one of the things that applies, I guess, to people who might be dating or seeing or is interested in ISTP is that they can't read our minds. So you just have to let them know and be gentle with it, not in such a way that I know that it's not gonna be something that they'll take offense in, but it's not something that you can force out of them because sometimes they just don't know what they don't know, especially when it comes to their feelings and all that. So it requires patience. And as with all people, especially with inferior FE, they want to be a part of something. So ICPs like to be invited, to be seen as that you want to hang out with them, you want to spend time with them. So that is something that they will not verbalize, but they actually definitely appreciate. So they're very simple. They're very simple people actually. Very direct, very simple. Um, just don't be coy with them. Just don't play games. Don't play games. Don't play games with an ISTP unless it's a video game. But for the most part, they don't like bullshit thing around with people. Just tell them what you think and they'll be able to take it. So yes, that's it actually. I hope that you learned something from today. And if you want to get typed, if you want to learn more about your type or how to interact or deal with certain types, I offer coaching and in depth type assessments. And you can see that in the clip after this. So, bye. Thanks for watching.
Follow me on my socials at MBTI Time on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you're not sure if you're an INFP, INFJ, ENFP, INTJ, or any other type, book a typing session with me by visiting www.mbtitime.com. Links in the descriptions down below.